All right. LDBC, this is your boy Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show live. Okay, folks. This one kind of actually watched the news for a change, and Donald Trump, he's approved what he supports. He ain't approved it, but he endorses guns being in the classroom of teachers. Now, I support this because here's the thing, and I'm gonna talk about the problem with this, but I'm gonna talk about why I support it. Because you got in a school, you only have one school resource officer. That's it. You maybe have two people. You maybe have two security guards if you're lucky. Okay. Some schools only have one. So you may have a school full of over 1,000 kids, and you got one school resource officer. Then you have one, a security associate, and that's the guy that come by when kids act up. He take them out of class. Okay, that guy. They may only have one of each of those. So you kind of looking at, okay, well, what does the SRO do? Because, I always wonder, what was the SRO doing in this situation? When these kids come into the school and they shoot up the school, where's the SRO? Where's he at? And the SRO stands for School Resource Officer. Like, where's he at? Because that should be the first person to the scene with his gun drawn is the SRO. Like, I always wonder, like, is it happening so fast? Is the SRO, is he taking cover? Like, and you guys got to understand how the job of an SRO works. I'm going to break it down. They're regular police officers, but when the school is out during the summer, they're also out. Like, they don't have to work during the summer. So if you're an SRO, it's really a cushy job. Like, you just kind of walk around the school. Maybe you look at some of the monitors a couple of times during the day. You can kind of go and leave. I mean, an SRO, if you're a police officer, it's probably one of the best jobs you can have, because the likelihood of you pulling your gun on anybody and shooting somebody, it's unlikely, But I say that because it's not enough for the SRO to go around. So yeah, the teachers need guns, but this is what they need to do with this, okay? The guns need to be in a way to where the teachers, they can't just draw the guns and play around, because you're going to have some dumbass teachers that they're going to, play around, pull the gun out and say, look, They're going to do stupid stuff, okay? So these guns, they need to be remotely controlled, meaning that the teachers can't draw them or pull them out unless there's a threat. Like, they can't be pulled out. And there's technology where you can do that. So it will stop the teachers from, just playing around and having that urge to do something stupid. And then it'll also stop students from trying to go in and get the gun. It will stop students from doing that because, you do have a couple of students too who they crazy. And they would try to tackle the teacher, and they would try to go in and get the gun. And even if a student is attacking a teacher with his hands, the gun still shouldn't be able to be drawn out. Like, that gun, the remote control access to the gun should only be allowed, okay, unless there's a threat inside the school. That's when the remote access to the gun needs to be allowed. And see, that will rectify the problem of, you having teachers that, that's doing dumb stuff, or, trying to pull a gun and just, pulling the gun for dumb reasons, saying that they threaten for their life. And anyway, you don't have a lot of teachers who could do that, because these kids, they record everything anyway. So if you got a dumb teacher who doing some stupid stuff, then they're going to get caught on camera. And it's always the case. Every time a teacher even breathe or say something dumb, it's caught on camera. And these kids, they're diligently recording everything. So I think that likelihood probably not going to go down as much, but it need to be remote control access where the guns cannot be drawn. Okay, they can't be drawn, they can't be fired. And you can actually program guns to do that. You can program them from a centralized location, like such as the office. They can actually cut on the access to the guns, and then you can draw them and fire them. See, that's how it need to go down. So, I wouldn't mind, because it'll save a lot more lives. These kids, they won't be as fearful, or if they don't even want the teachers holding the guns, they could have the guns inside of a location in the classroom that's controlled by remote controlled access, where the teachers, they can't get into the remote control access until, there's a threat. Now, the one drawback to this would be, if the threat is inside the classroom, then the teachers are probably screwed, okay? If the threat is inside the classroom, they're screwed. So that would have to be a little bit more thought going into this, but that's a start, it's a start. And, because see, kids can still get into the classroom. they can still get in there undetected. And that's the problem with a public school. It's a big problem because you can go in there, man, and like I remember, man, I was sitting up, man, and I had a student one time. They just said it, hey, so and so got a knife. He been having a knife all day, and this was years ago. And I'm like, he got a knife. How do you what the heck's he doing with a knife? But you don't know. And it was a kid. He was gonna come to school and stab this other kid that was bullying him. But you didn't, you would never know if this kid never said anything, or if nobody ever told it. He wouldn't. Nobody would have known that he was packing a knife. And then on the middle school level, on the elementary school level, them kids, they can't shut up. They ain't gonna keep no secret. You remember back in the days when we was in elementary and middle school, we keep a secret, Like if you say don't say nothing, ain't nobody gonna say that. Nowadays, they tell everything. They can't keep their mouth shut. That's the thing. They don't know how to not tell it. They gonna tell it. So at least with this generation, one good thing out of them is that they are not gonna stay quiet. If they know somebody got a gun, they coming to tell it. Cause these kids, they selfish, and they ain't trying to die. They ain't trying to die. They scared of dying and they selfish. They ain't trying to die over something, well, I'm gonna go tell it because this fool decided to go crazy. I ain't trying to get killed because of him. That's the mentality of these kids, and that's good. But I think this is a good move. Definitely. But if the gun's in the classroom, teachers should not have free access to just draw the guns and pull them out and fire them at will. That's stupid. These guns need to be remotely controlled. They need to be remotely controlled. And they cannot be used unless there's a threat in the school. There's a physical and viable threat in the school that this person is trying to kill people. And we do have the technology to remotely program these guns to be drawn at certain times. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done. What are you waiting on? Subscribe.